What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and we are back for yet another match preview. The second of 5 cup finals now, this time against Leeds at Ellen Road.
We made it through to the 4th round.
Exactly, we made it through. We made it through. Look, four games left of the season. Top 4. I was about to say it's very much on, but I think that there's a slight chance. There's a glimmer of hope. There is a glimmer of hope, especially with the games of Man City, Chelsea this weekend. And I think that...
Leicester got to play Chelsea. Because they're playing each other, all these teams, it leaves a glimmer of hope. If we can concentrate on ourselves and get over the line in our games and win our games, which are very winnable games, then there is a chance. But do we trust ourselves to do it? That's the question.
Of course we don't. I mean, we've seen all season how we build ourselves up to let us down every single time this season. Every time there's been a glimmer of hope, we've literally just slammed the door shut flat on our own faces. So I mean,
it's like you've been burnt so many
times. It's like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? But look, we've got to stay a bit hopeful.
The fans who cried top 4.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But with our games left, Leeds, Wolves, Aston Villa, we got to get 9 points out of those 3 games. We have to, if we've got any chance.
Top 4. Because of as I've said so many times, because of the inconsistencies of the teams around us, it does leave a bit of an opportunity still open if we can just win our games and then see what happens. I do think if we win our games, we'll probably make it. But I just don't believe that we will. But look, it's a good barometer this week against the Leeds side, who are the most Jekyll and Hyde side you'll find this season. You know, them being in 11th is pretty much perfect encapsulation for how they've been this season. They've scored 50 goals but conceded 52. They lose to Brighton, but they beat Man City away. Like they're just, you don't know what you're gonna get with them. With Leeds United, but all you know is they're a joy to watch. They're fun to watch. They're great for the neutral anyway. They just attack every single game they play, and it should be a good barometer in terms of how well we can keep a side out like Leeds whilst also being on the attack, being on the front foot, and stamping our authority on the game.
I mean, yeah, you're right in terms of you never know what Leeds are going to turn up, but you always know with Leeds they're always going to put in the effort, the desire. They're always going to be full of running, and that's something that we need to watch out for, because this Leeds side, I mean, I think they've run the most out of everyone in the Premier League this season. I think they've done the most presses out of everyone in the Premier League this season. So it is a team to be wary of, that's for sure. Since they beat Man City 4 games ago, they haven't won a game. So I mean, it's a very, very confusing side when you look at Leeds. But on the good side of things, it looks as though their 2 best players of the season could be a doubt for this game in Rafinha and Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, who are exceptional. Well, they're very good players. You know, Calvin Phillips is likely to go to the Euros of England. He's played his way into that team, and he's been pretty great throughout the season. And Rafinha has also been a bit of a revelation on the wing for Leeds this season.
He's been brilliant. That chance creation rate he has is insane.
Yeah, and he's always regularly stepping in with goals and assists as well. He's got serious talent in his boots.
Serious free kick on him as well.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Rafinha, and I can see him moving on to a much. I'm not sure, maybe this time, and maybe we'll stay another year, but I can definitely see him in the future moving into one of the top 6 clubs for sure, no doubt about that. And he's young, he's Brazilian as well. I think he's a fantastic talent.
In terms of Marcelo Bielsa, how do you assess the kind of job he's doing, and would you take him at Spurs?
He's doing a great job. He's doing a fantastic job, and he's, you got to remember how long it took Leeds United to get promoted out of the Championship. They were there for so long, since 2004.
Yeah, they flirted with it a few times, but just couldn't get over the line, could they?
But until Bielsa came, and also it could have been very easy for Bielsa after losing in the playoffs in his first season to think, this is never going to happen. But he kept at it. He kept the belief. He brought the pride back to that Leeds fan base, and they sailed to promotion in that second season.
He's like a god up there.
And this season, look, they're staying up with absolute ease. They're more than staying up. They've been absolutely brilliant this season. Obviously, you get your highs and your lows, but by and large, they've been fun to watch. It's nice to see a team being promoted and playing football and not being afraid to attack the opposition. They've bloodied the noses of a lot of the big boys this season. And Bielsa, the way he's got his team playing is fantastic. Obviously, it's very similar to how Pochettino manages his teams. It does rely on a lot of running, a lot of young players in the team and stuff like that, and it relies on you outworking the opposition. I think he's a good manager. Would I take him at Spurs? I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't. It's the kind of thing where we've had Pochettino, and we couldn't. We obviously did great under Pochettino, but couldn't quite get over the line. Having Bielsa come in, would it get back to that? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure.
It'll definitely be nice to watch, that's for sure.
As in, he's been to a lot of clubs where he's went to Lille, and he went to Marseille. He went to. Who else did he go to? He went to a team what was it, Lazio? Was it one of them teams? And he just didn't last very long. What was it? Was it Lazio?
So he was at Lille for under a year.
Lille.
He was at Lazio for under a year.
No, but I think we're not talking under a year. We're talking a few months.
A few months, right.
Literally, we're talking not long at all.
And he was at Marseille for about a year.
Yeah, so when the club's not right, when he moves into a club and he agrees to join them and he decides the things aren't right here, he is not one to stick around and try and manage the situation. He's like, I'm off, I'm going. This ain't the club for me. And I fear if he came to Spurs, something similar might happen. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not sure he would be able to make it work within the constraints of what he has.
I mean, he seemed to be fitted to Leeds, and he seemed to make Leeds work quite well.
Yeah, but they're in the Championship. They had less expectations than us. Their expectations were to get promoted from the Championship with the playing stuff. He could do that, but when he's tasked with getting us to challenging at the top echelons of the Premier League, I don't know. Maybe it's different expectations.
Yeah, maybe, but I think obviously the playing staff at Tottenham Hotspur are much stronger than what they got in Leeds. So, I think it's a step up for sure. Do I want him at Spurs? I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. I'm undecided on it because I think that the style of football really does suit us down to a T. But it all depends if he's going to get backed and what have you, and I don't think he will. So
I feel like the players we have, I don't know if they're suited to that system.
Anymore.
Mourinho can't get them to press. Pochettino only got them to press for so long; he can't get them to press anymore. So I don't know if this high pressing thing is like outworking the opposition is just the best way to go about it.
We couldn't play low block football. We couldn't play high press football. So I mean, the only answer is
hybrid.
to do. Even a hybrid we couldn't do. I mean, the only answer is to renew the playing staff, refresh the playing staff.
Yeah,
That's the only way forward.
We're not going to do that, are we? So
that's the only way forward for any manager, and never mind Bielsa. But look, moving on to the game.
I just feel like, just going back on Bielsa, I just feel like Bielsa isn't a manager to be challenging at the top. He's the manager to build he's a project manager to build your team up to a certain way to be competitive. But I don't think he's a manager to when you really want to challenge at the top, like he's going to take you there. Like I don't think he's ever proved that. He's proved that he can improve your team very quickly, and he can definitely get you playing in a system.
He's never been at a team where he can prove that.
I don't know. He's been at clubs. He just hasn't lasted long, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know the reasons for that, but in terms of the clubs he's been at for an extended amount of time, none of them are fighting at the top of their leagues.
Yeah. But why has he never got a chance like
That's
that?
the thing. I don't know.
But he's old now. He's getting on a bit.
He's revered as like one of the best managers of all time without actually doing much as a manager.
And also he speaks through a translator as well. Levy won't like that. So I don't know. I just don't think it's the right fit, Bielsa, for us. I think he was one of those where I'm sure under certain circumstances he can be a success here, but I don't think under Levy he would be.
Yeah, I can imagine him coming to Spurs and the Spurs fan base really taking to him though. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. Because we've got that Pochettino connection. Pochettino was one of the Bielsa disciples, wasn't he? So obviously that would have that connection, and maybe it could work with the fan base. But I don't know. I just got a feeling it wouldn't end well.
Like any other manager, like every manager, basically.
But if you even look at Leeds' most recent results, it's like crazy. They just lost to Brighton, but in the past, 3 games before that, they drew 0-0 with Man United, drew 1-0 with Liverpool, and beat Man City. So if that doesn't show you, and a few games before that, they drew 0-0 with Chelsea. So if that doesn't show you what kind of a team Leeds are, I don't know what will. They really are a team that once they do come up against a big team or a strong team at the top of the table, near the top of the table, they step up their game, and they usually put in a really strong performance. So seeing that we're playing them this weekend, off the back of them losing as well, they're definitely going to be up for it, and I can see them being in a strong game. But we have to make sure that we don't get overawed by their press. We have the composure to play around them when they're pressing us high. We have the quality to find our attacking players in dangerous positions, and we have the quality to finish them off.
When we last played them earlier on in the season, we dispatched of them 3-0 in kind of sitting back, being patient, waiting for our moments and hitting them on the
Well,
counter-attack.
actually, disagree. I disagree with that. We pressed them really high.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We pressed them really high when we played, and that's how we nicked our first goal.
I'm pretty sure I remember us just sitting back a bit and hitting them on the break.
No,
and our 3 or 4 shots on target we scored, didn't we?
No. We pressed them really. For the goals, I remember very specifically for the first goal we scored, the penalty we won it very high up the pitch.
Sorry, I remember them passing it out the back really poorly against us.
because we were pressing really high. So
sorry, my mistake. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of a different game. Sorry, but yeah, you're right, because we were pressing them into a lot of mistakes that game.
Exactly.
And they were passing it out the back. They were making a lot of mistakes, and that's how we got the majority of our goals that day.
So if we could follow that blueprint.
That's what I was about to say. Well, I was actually about to say the opposite.
Yeah.
But now you've jogged my memory on the game. I think that if we follow that blueprint and we get really up in their faces, do you think we can have a similar scoreline?
Yeah, for sure, because we have better players than them. The only way Leeds win this game is if they outwork us and they are more motivated to win this match. That's the only way they win. If we can match their intensity, we'll win this game because our players are better. We have technically better players. They're like their best player, Patrick Bamford, who's obviously a strong player and he's been a good striker this season, but he wouldn't get into our team. So I know Leeds do have some good players, and I'm not saying they're any mugs or anything, but if we outwork them, then we will win this game.
It's going to be hard to outwork this Leeds
That's
team.
the thing. That's the challenge. But if we can do that, because the quality we have with Son, Kane, and Bale up top, like Leeds have nowhere near that sort of firepower. Especially if Rafinha is missing, so we should win this game if we match their work rate. But we haven't been matching teams' work rate all season, so whether Mason can coax that kind of effort out of this team, we have to see.
We matched Leeds' work rate when we played them last time, that's for sure.
We did.
We forced them into a lot of mistakes at the back,
and also their keeper. I don't know, he's a bit dodge.
Yeah, I mean he's another one, a Jekyll and Hyde keeper. But in terms of their passing at the back and their defence, I mean they're definitely gettable, you know what I mean? So I mean, if we follow that blueprint, I do think we go on and win this game. But I think it's going to be a different Leeds side than we faced earlier on in the season. I think that around the time we beat them 3-0, they got battered by United as well, and in the reverse fixture they did draw 0-0 after conceding 6 goals in the
there was 0-0
fixture.
draw. Look, they've got a few 0-0 draws. They drew at home to Chelsea, at home to Man United, and they just recently drew at home to Liverpool. So clearly not easy to get points off this team at Elland Road. It really isn't easy. So we need to be on top of our game and really take them to the sword if we're going to win.
And as you say, without Rafinha, that's a massive plus for us, because in my opinion, whenever I've seen them play recently in the last few months, he's been central to everything they do going forward. Literally everything. He's their most creative player. He gets the most assists. He's been banging in the goals as well. So if Rafinha is out for this game, it's a massive, massive plus for us.
And I think Calvin Phillips as well, if he's out, that's also a massive plus, because he's that thing that knits everything together in that centre. He's that strong defensive mid, that leader in the centre of the park that really steps up for Leeds a lot of the time, and they don't really have a replacement of quality to replace him. So if he's out and we have players like Højbjerg, Celso and Ndombele in the centre, then we can hopefully dominate in that central area, and that's a very big part of the way they play, especially from the sides and in the centre with that intensity really pushing up high up the pitch. That's a big element to how Leeds play against these teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how things are now. But it should be a good game, I think, because with Mason now in charge, he's not going to be. He's going to be concentrating on how we play, not concentrating on how the opposition play. Whereas Mourinho was the opposite. So he's going to concentrate on how we attack Leeds, how we get, we build up as a team ourselves, whereas Leeds don't care about how we play. They're going to care about themselves. It'll be two teams, I think, going very attacking. Leeds don't have much to play for as well, so it should be quite an attacking game.
Having said that, though, in terms of Jose and Mason, Jose's game plan worked down to a T last time we played them.
It did.
So it's going to be interesting.
Jose wasn't all bad. Sometimes it worked. A lot of times it didn't. We all know that.
Yeah, but that specific game, it worked completely down to a T. So do you reckon Mason looks at that and tries to figure out a similar way?
I hope he will take elements of that performance and try and do the same, because I think Jose got it absolutely tactically spot on in that game. We completely battered Leeds, and they barely had a chance, whereas we killed them off. But
I think 2-0 at half time or something that game.
Yeah, I believe so. But Mason, I believe Mason will, with another week's training under his belt, will just be focusing on how Tottenham attack rather than focusing too much on what Leeds try to do. That's what I feel. So I can see it being a very attacking game with a lot of goals. I can see it being a bit more exciting as well. I don't think Leeds will be easy to play against, but especially if we even if we take the lead, it's one of those games where even if we get an early goal,
could be toing and throwing this game.
Yeah, I don't think that's that big of a difference. Even if we get an early goal, we just got to make sure that we work as hard as them, and we'll win the game.
All right, what score prediction going for?
3-2 to Spurs.
3-2.
3-2.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 3-1 to Spurs. That's the predictions that we did go and predict the Prem. So my brother's going 3-2. I'm going 3-1. Let me know your score prediction in the comment section below. We've got a host of content and live streams coming your way tomorrow. Kicking off at 11 o'clock with David Harris for the pre-match pump-up. Moving on to the live watch-log with us. And then moving on to the post-match fan show with us as well, when it is your chance to have your say on the game. Very much looking forward to a big day of content and football coming your way tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.